The hard part is over, now we just need to complete the formalities. The news that the rose hair has been found stirs mixed reaction in the kingdom. A huge crowd gathers at my coronation the next day regardless, with everyone eager to see their new queen. The steel circlet that Glinda will place over my head holds no power in itself, but the symbolism is important. That's what she says anyway. Though he is still suffering from the effects of the throne, Ospin is well enough to attend. He oversees the ceremony himself. I can't remember ever seeing so many people at once. I can only look at their faces. Hundreds of them. Maybe thousands. Each belonged to an individual with hopes and dreams and fears. And there are still more arriving to the second. Each one of these people is going to be depending on me. The reality of it all is humbling beyond belief. In the wake of my parents' rule, how will I compare? Will I be able to carry on their legacy? This is where life, as Tyrion's youngest daughter, ends for good. I have returned to the world I was born into, but as a stranger. Living in the desert, even with young by my child, everyone knew I was an outsider. But really, I didn't belong here either. Sensing my nerves as chill as those, Yang puts a hand on the small of my back, steadying me with the familiar, comforting gesture. Casting off the negative thoughts like a bad dream, I try to focus on the coronation. I can't think like this from now. If I want to be a good queen, I can't get trapped in my own head. I can't second guess myself. I just need to do the best I can. Standing before Ospin, I take a deep breath. Though white-knuckled and trembling faintly, he still keeps a strong grip on his cane, and stands tall. Our introduction has been brief, strange, and terrifying, but I still find myself trusting him implicitly. Crow has trusted this man, and fuck this man. I will too. Ospin and I stand facing each other at arm's length. A silver basin filled to the brim with rose water sits between us. He breaks the water surface with the tip of his thumb and middle finger. Placing his white fingers at the edges of my jaw, he draws them forward to meet at my chin, over the crest of my cheeks, the bridge of my nose. He hands his cane to Glinda, who has stepped forward to receive it. His hands tremble, almost too weak to lift the crown off his head. His breathing is labored until the very moment the crown loses contact with my head, and I bow my head to receive it. Fuck, it was his head and not my head. Whatever. The crown, crafted of such delicate metal, is so light I can barely feel it on my head. What I can feel is the way the crowd's energy changes when Ospin puts it on me. Their expectation is heavy, almost crushing. As Ospin closes the ceremony and the crowd disperses, I blink at the cloudless sky. For today the sun is shining. The future may be dark and uncertain, but I've survived this long. That has to count for something. I'm sorry, I want to make jokes sometimes, but this whole thing and the scene before that were just... they feel really heavy, and I don't feel right interrupting them to make too many jokes. I'm sorry if this is boring, but this writing is probably hit you in the face, okay? In the day following my coronation, Glinda sees that I learn my way around the castle. After that, she starts teaching me about the city itself. Integrating into castle life has been hard for Yang, but she made friends among the guards easier than I did. There weren't any ranks or titles between her and them, so while my status as a queen keeps me at arm's length with about everybody. She goes off to explore the city on her own while Glinda gives me a tour. And the roads here not only channel citizens between districts, but also serve as trade roads and areas of informal commerce. Moving along, we have... oh, there really are a lot of people all over the place. All this hustle and bustle and rhymes is making me kind of nervous. Getting used to moving in all this armor isn't making things any easier either. Is it truly okay for me to be out like this? You have me as an escort. The wizard has considerable clout in the city, rivaling that of the royal family, and the power to back it up. When I was playing with my friend the other day, they were dead convinced that Glinda was evil. I mean, they're not wrong, because Glinda is pretty much true neutral. She's not on your side, she's on Ospin's side. No one will bother us, trust me. In any case, the market is this way, it's the easiest part of the city to find and the hardest to leave. Please stay close. I can protect you if I don't keep you within eyeshot, understood? Yes, ma'am. Each person has their own destination, but as a whole they're an indistinct mass of color and movement. As we progress through the body market, the path gradually clears as the people become aware of Glinda's presence. Recognition gives way to short-lived confusion as they notice me walking beside her. Each time a spark of unfamiliar difference lights up in their eyes upon realizing who I am, and they step aside. I'm getting dizzy just watching everyone. Understandably so, but make certain to keep your wits about you at all times, lest you find your pockets lighter than they were when we came. Let us move on. We move through the crowd and toward the less busy side streets. Glinda has a talent for this. People move quickly to get out of her way. God, I wish I could do that. That's resemblance. That's resemblance, people. Resemblance is just making people really uncomfortable so they leave. I follow close behind her. In this direction, one finds the much quieter housing districts. At the sun's height, there are often children idling in play together, but it remains a place of relative calm among the other districts. The market, the menageries. Menageries? Even in places with cute little animals to look at? Oh, whoa, please take me there, right there, please, please, please! As someone who has already played this game, this really hurts to read. Remember yourself, Your Majesty. Sorry. But you'll take me, right? I don't quite believe you'll see what you're expecting to see. Glinda, you could just give her a warning, just say, hey, when we say menagerie, we're actually being kind of racist about it. That's not what you think it means. Do they have menageries in the desert? As in actual menageries. With like, lizard, I guess? What do you find in the desert? Ostriches and lizards and dragons? I don't know, my dude. However, I suppose you will need to see them eventually. A queen must know her domain, after all. I shall accompany you. Oh, thank you, I can't wait! Narrator voice, she could have waited. Ew. As we run through beyond the periphery of the housing district, my excitement quickly fades, replaced with a sickening coil of dread, which settles in my stomach and twists up through my ribs. That is a very awesome description. The gate before us. I know I'm never going to forget it. I know I'll always remember the sound of its cranking hinges. I feel suffocated. I want to leave. This place is empty of peace and charm. There are only shadows, and beyond them, angry girls and harsh whispers. The crude dwelling lining the road looks unfit to live in, even for animals. I wonder if those are like hooves? Those are hooves. I think. Either way, that's pretty cool. In case my icon wasn't a dead giveaway, I'm like a big furry, so I'm just here like, yay, that's cool. You wanted to see them, did you not? These were the menageries, where all honest citizens reside. You could have given her a head up about it, just saying. Glinda. The absolute fucking dumbass. With myself away from the city in search for you, and has been chained to the throne, the person we chose to run the city betrayed us, and betrayed our trust. And in this day and age, well, let's just say that we're fortunate enough to have you back. I look closer at the few people I can see, and notice ears and tails flickering out at our intrusion. I can begin to imagine what they're feeling. Probably hate your guts. They're trapped here, caged. And here I am, with the freedom to live wherever I want. I can feel the hate put like pressure on my skin. This must seem like mockery. Two human nobles come to gawk at the spectacle. I don't think any of them were there to see my coronation. I hadn't noticed any animal features in the crowd, but I'm their queen too. Do they recognize me? They probably do because you have like the insignia on your chest, which is a dead giveaway even if they don't know your face. I can hear a baby crying in the distance. Those children old enough to walk are wandering around, eyes listless and vacant. Hold on, I need to plug my computer real quick. Here we go, my good dude. I bow my head to hide my expression from Glinda as I turn towards the gate again. I've seen enough. This isn't what I thought it would be. As I turn, I see a woman watching me from an alley. Her gold eyes, slanted as if in accusation, fix me with a penetrating glare. Feline ears protruding from the crown of her head perk up for a moment, before they flatten against her skull in anger. There's something about her, something in her eyes, in her stance, that feels different from everyone else. Like she's accustomed to the filth, yet not part of it. Separate, above it. Even here, she stands at ease, without the sense of defeat I see on every other face present. Tossing me one last disdainful glance, she folds her arms and disappears into the back of an alley. Glinda and I leave. Sorry, I just heard the background. Are you gonna pay for it, or do I need to shove that up your ass? And I think that Zextrain voice. That's fucking amazing. The market is a beautiful place. I follow Glinda back to the densely packed marketplace. All around her, people swarm, shouting and bumping into each other. Someone crashes into me particularly roughly. Time to get robbed. Hey! A space around her clears as the dome of heat surrounds us. Glinda is alarmed at first, but then quickly we realize what had happened. I smile back at Yang, who walks at ease in the crowd towards us, everyone doing their best to avoid the blistering heat that she emanates. Thanks for joining us, Yang. Yang rests a reassuring hand on my shoulder and steers me toward Glinda, who is standing next to an open door leading to an unfamiliar building. It looks recently built, and a touch more sturdy than the one surrounding us. A warehouse? Hey, little Rose. Sorry, I didn't come with you today. I wander off to do some exploring on my own. It's okay. I think of the menageries. You probably wouldn't have liked it anyway. Now feel free to join us, Xiaolong. Check to make sure we haven't lost anything important, and follow me. It wasn't supposed to be so hot today. I think that's the only time Glinda used this sprite in the entire game. But it's fucking rad. So what parts of the city did you see today? Honestly, not much. I spent most of my time chatting with the castle guards. After the display at the gates when we first arrived, I was worried about the security here. Yeah, and? It seems like there's some sort of divide here. There are the castle guards. There are a lot of private contractors too, and a lot of those belong to a guy named Torchwick. Her face says it all. Glinda sighs. Mood. That's something we'll discuss as well. Oskin can probably do a better job than I can. Just to say, I trust the fellow about as far as I can throw him. I'm pretty sure I can throw him pretty far though, since you can do like magic and shit. Considering her power, that probably isn't an technology as she intended. That's literally what I said. Vividly, I imagine Glinda picking up someone she dislikes for her magic and hurling them across the cliffs. But he's gotten too powerful in a short time for me to openly challenge him. The people love him. Well, the humans love him. He's actually our last stop on today's tour of the city. We'll have to meet him sooner or later. She walks inside the warehouse to meet the infamous Torchwick fellow. I spot him almost at once, a man in a white coat and a black hat. Glinda walks ahead of us, already engaging him in the conversation. I can barely hear her asking about the guards over the bustle of the market right outside. Interrupting Glinda with a silencing hand, he regards one of his cronies who had come to bring him something. It's a slice of pie. Lifting it to his nose, he gives it a few whiff. a few whiff before his face crinkles in disgust. He sticks his finger into the pile, then yells at whoever it was who brought it to him, waving the soiled finger around accusingly. Only when he's done giving his employee a tongue lashing does he return his attention to Glinda and to us. What the? There is so much to take in here. I've never liked that style. Check it out, he rocked these hills better than you. Well, well. A fun fact is that Torchwick was designed specifically to look as stupid as possible. And if you don't think that's beautiful, then nothing is. If it is on the new monarch, Queen Red. Queen Ruby. Sure. He bows to me, the feather on his hat bouncing with the movement. A pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. They call me Roman Torchwick, and I walk down here in the lower part of the city, aiding Lord Ospin and Lady Goodwitch in more mundane matters. Mr. Torchwick helps us monitor trade through the city and helps to keep anything unsavory from getting in. Indeed I do. There's something in his eyes. I can place it, but I know I don't like it. Sir, this is from Jones Blueberry Harvest. Are these the one you want sent out? Weren't you listening earlier, you fucking idiot? I said 8 times, the June harvest is fine, the May harvest was ruined. Sorry about that, but you know what they say, if you want something done right, you have to do it by yourself. Doesn't look like you're doing anything except yell at people, though. Hey, are you trying those pies? They smell great, and I didn't get much for lunch. There it is again. Oh, it's greed. She just really likes money, and power. How about this? We'll try the new Queen's luck. If it lands as she calls, you get the pie free of charge. If it doesn't, you pay full price. 4 gold. There are no downside for you, do we have a deal? You get this, Ruby, and more importantly, I gotta get that pie. Right. I've played this portion of the game like 6 times, and I've literally never gotten this fucking pie. Heads! Fuck you! I better luck next time, Your Majesty. It will be 4 gold for you, miss. If you are all quite done, can we be assured, Mr. Torchwick, that we'll continue to aid Queen Rose as you have aided Lord Ospin? Why, of course, Lady Goodwitch. Then tell your men at the gate to shape up, or I'll have them used as Beowulf bait. Are we clear? Not intimidated in the slightest, Roman takes a long drag of his cigar, meeting Glinda's eyes in an even stare. Then his lips twitch, grinning insincerely. Crystal. It was a pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty, but I do have work to get back to. I hope we have another chat sometime soon. That fucking face is the biggest fucking mood anytime Roman is on screen. It was nice meeting you as well, Mr. Torchwick. And thank you for watching over our trade. We leave as Roman starts yelling at someone else. Soon Glinda leads up into a public house where we can grab a drink and Yan can hit our pie. Issue ladies will excuse me. So, what did you think of that Torchwick guy? I don't really know. He seemed okay, but I really have a bad feeling about him. I'm not sure what's wrong with him, but there's something wrong with him. That's fine, you don't have to figure it out yet. Still, we should keep a close eye on him. It's never good to ignore a bad feeling. Instincts are the dark part of our minds send us messages. You fun hoodies. Just remember what Daedalus says, never trust a merchant. That is Accurate, though. And not absently. What was that I saw in his eyes? Anger? Mockery? He knows something. He knows that there's nothing Orby can do about him if he can do anything he wants. That's what he believes anyway. Hilda returns, and I remember something I'd been thinking about since the coronation. Taking the woman's menagerie and meeting Roman has only made me more determined. It filled me with determination. No, there was something I wanted to talk to you about. Yes? I know I was just supposed to be the queen, and that all you're running to me to do is to sit on the throne and like pose and shit, but I want to help people. Your mere presence. I want to be real to actually do shit. Whatever. I mean, it can be keeping an eye on the trade or keeping track of the kingdom's record. I just want to do shit, okay? A queen should do more than just be present. Very well, we'll talk to Lord Ospin and when we return to the castle, and we'll see what we can do personally to help the kingdom. I want to make Glinda with a British accent, but I can't even do a non-French accent, so I'm sorry about that, but please imagine I'm speaking with a British accent. MZ, if you're watching this, please do Glinda for me next time. I'm sure the subject will appreciate it. At this hour, you'll find Lord Ospin's library, most likely. Do you need the guide? Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna stop here real quick and start again.